Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome, but if you've been here before, welcome back. What I thought we could do today is spend some time together watching Life by Jen, or Jennifer Gwen Ann, whatever you call her video entitled Day 1, Keto, Body Shots and Movement. And I think this will be a gentle reaction because I don't really know that much about her. All I know is what I've seen on other channels, such as Who Was She Is Back, and some others that really, comment on her. I've never done so before, so join me in this first time where we see this. Here we go.
Good morning, guys. It is for you guys.
Morning.
It's Thursday. For me, it's Wednesday, July the 1st, and I'm ready to kickstart this day and get things moving. Even though I'm not probably feeling like getting things kickstarted, I am ready to get started. I didn't sleep well last night. I fell asleep at 10 o'clock, woke up at 12:30, and was awake until like 8 this morning. I took a 2-hour nap, approximately. Times vary, but in that window. And now I'm pretty exhausted, but I'm going to push forward. There are things that I need to get done today. I want to make my, I think it's called Mediterranean. It's a low-carb, keto-ish vegetable salad with cucumbers and onions.
Alrighty, we're going to stop because I lost all of my weight on keto. If I can figure out how, I'll put a picture here. What I would say is that you can't do things as keto-ish. It's either keto or it's not. So you're going to follow the rules and you're going to, try to eliminate carbs and you can do like high fat, moderate protein, or you're not. There's no such thing as a keto-ish thing. But that's just my opinion because I've lost a lot. Like I said, I lost a lot of weight on keto, and I remember for the first couple of days, you have these cravings for bread and carbs, and one of my things that I used to miss a lot was pasta. But at the end of the day, you can't have something that's halfway there and half not. It's one of those diets. It's kind of like Atkins or any of those things. Or any weight loss diet. It has to either be or it's not. You can't have something that's ish. It can't be Weight Watchers ish. It's either all or nothing.
Onions and all that good stuff. I want to mix that together and have that sitting so I can have some for dinner tonight. I also I need to do my body shots. You're going to see that here in a minute. I probably picked the most unflattering outfit to do a body shot in, but the worst.
Wear whatever you want. I mean, honestly, wear whatever you want. I don't know why people would come for you for what you wear. Yes, Chantal and the rest, I have commented on their clothing before, but only because I think that they do choose things that are unflattering, but always seems to be the same things. And I think that's what's always irked me. At the end of the day, sister, empower yourself, wear what you want. And frankly, if you like that tank top, I don't like it, but if you like it, then fine. There we go.
The look now, the better I'm going to look when I lose weight, right? So I'm not really worried about that. It's just, this is the way I am. If you saw me around my building, this is what I'm wearing, so I'm not too worried about it. It's who I am, and if people don't like the way I look, they don't have to look at me. I have had quite a few people comment about my tank tops, about how unflattering they look, and I agree they're probably not the best look for me if I was to be fashioning myself to look top of the line, but I'm going for comfort. It's summertime, it's hot, and this is how I dress and how I feel comfortable. I spent a lot of years worrying about the way I looked and being ashamed to wear certain things. I most definitely don't feel comfortable wearing a lot of things that I see some people wearing. I think it's all about preference and what you feel comfortable with. I feel comfortable in tank tops. I do not, however, feel comfortable in shorts.
No, well, wait, I'm going to stop for a second because I know what she means. Because when I was in my bigger days, and I've said this before in my videos, is that when I used to go to pool parties and stuff, because I always lived except for when I lived in New Jersey, I lived in hotter climates, right? And so I used to go to pool parties and I wouldn't even want to take off my shirt. I wouldn't. So I know what she means. I get that, but I'm not saying that she should work out in a cardigan. That's ridiculous. That's so stupid. But frankly, I don't know why you're apologizing. Here's the thing, right? With Foodie Beauty and our girl Amberlynn Reed, the reason why I feel like I take issue with them is because they always, not so much Foodie Beauty, but Amberlynn tells us how much money she makes and blah blah blah. But I think that my real issue, to be fair, is that they could do all of this in private. They really could. But if you're gonna put it out here, then you're subject to criticism of how you look. I look like shit today, fine, but it is what it is.
That's my thing. There's a lot of people who are bigger people who feel comfortable in shorts. I don't, but I feel comfortable in tank tops. So
I didn't either.
I wear them, and I appreciate the comments of giving me advice on things to wear, not to wear. I do honestly appreciate that, but it just is what it is. Staying home a lot this morning. I'm tired. So I'm gonna do my body shots, and then I'm gonna move into, before I start getting into the kitchen stuff, I'm doing a 16-hour fast, and so far I'm working on my water. I started fasting at 10 o'clock last night, and I have until 2 p.m. to go. It's currently 11:38 a.m., and I think I can do this. I only have 2.5 more hours. I'm gonna go ahead and...
Fasting is a really difficult thing to do, particularly when you're first starting out in this, itinerary of like losing weight. I wanted to say journey, but who is she is back will kill me. But I think, yeah, I agree with fasting. I really think it's a good thing to do. Just my opinion. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a weight loss specialist. I'm not any of those things. But it's always seemed to work for me. However, the first I would say like the first week, until like you understand how it works, it's going to be hard. And Jen, I really hope that you're willing to put forward that effort, because it's hard. It's really hard.
Gym body shots, like I just said, like 4 times. And then I'm going to exercise for today. Another one of my commitments for July to challenge myself is to move my body at least 5 times a week and get some type of movement in. So I found this, if anybody else follows, there's a sweet woman.
Wait. My thing is, though, five times a day is not so bad. That's actually quite a bit. But I hope that you're not setting a goal that's like way too big for you, and then you can only like work out like 3 days a week, and then you just stop because you get frustrated. Really, I think that what you should be doing is saying, I'm going to work out as much as I can, and you work yourself up into something, right? Like, you're not going to sit there and say to yourself, 5 days a week, because that's a lot. I mean, I was never really like that much of a gym buff. I don't even like to go to the gym. But at the same time, what I would say is that I always set like reasonable goals for myself, and I can imagine the frustration of what it feels like of when you tell yourself, I'm going to go 5 days a week. That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, people who go 5 days a week are like genuinely dedicated. And if you're just not like testing the waters, that's a huge commitment. It'd be great if you met it, but don't allow yourself to feel frustrated if you don't get that far. Like, don't do that, because then you're just going to fail every single time. My opinion.
Name becoming Jaya. I'm not quite exactly sure how you say her name, but I will leave a link to her YouTube, and then she also has an Instagram. I will leave that in the description below, so you can go check her out. She's a bigger lady too, and on a weight loss journey, and she is introducing her. She's going to have it coming out. It's a brand of exercise for people who are immobile. You can do it in a chair. It's called Chair One Fitness, and her workout will be coming out soon. She was going to show a preview of what she's releasing, so I went ahead and I googled, and I found that there are Chair One Fitness videos already released here on YouTube, and I'm going to do one of those today. I will leave a link for that as well in the description below. So if any of you guys out there who have physical limitations or need to sit for any reason, these are workouts from the chair designed to get you moving. Let me show you what I'm going to use with it. I have these weights. They're 3 pounds each. I think they're 3 pounds each. I'm pretty sure they are. I don't know if it says. It does not say how many pounds, but I'm pretty sure when I bought them, I'm pretty sure I remember them being 3 pounds. They feel like 3 pounds. So I'm going to use these for my workout and get some motion on. And I have my water, like I said, near me while I'm working out. I'm going to record my working out. I'm going to speed it up so you guys don't have to sit through all that rigmarole.
Right. I think that she's trying to do too much at once. At the end of the day, like, look, you have to set your goal for either you're going to go keto and then you'll work out once the weight starts to come off, or you can do both at once. I feel like this is a double whammy, right? Because what she's going to do is she's going to fail at one of them, and then the other one is automatically canceled out. So she'll say, okay, well, I'm going to work out, right? And then that's not going to work out, so she'll say, oh, screw this keto thing, right? So you have to be able to tell yourself, okay, I'm going to start keto, I'm going to get into ketosis, which my body, which is different than hers. I think men's bodies and like women's bodies are different anyway, but my body takes maybe a good 3 days. Now, I've done keto for a long time, but if I have a cheat meal, it's going to take 3 days for my body to tell myself you're back in ketosis. So I think what she needs to do is commit to either working out first, like getting into like regular shape, and then once she feels good about that, then to go into keto, or do keto first, once she feels good about that, then do the workouts. But I think that when you're setting the bar so high, you're only going to feel that you're going to fail. I mean, it's true. It's true.
Not really happy about seeing myself working out on camera, but it is what it is. This is me, and
I'm happy for
going to
it.
show you me doing this. I'm determined. I am very determined this time. So, let me show you my body shots, then we'll move into the workout part, and then we will get into the kitchen and prep some
Go for
food.
it.
I'm going to be making also, I don't know if I'll share this part or not, but I'm making Jean chicken pot pie for dinner, homemade chicken pot pie, just a simple, easy recipe for it, because of course he can eat all that stuff, and it's stuff we have on hand. He is eventually going to be joining me in this kind of keto-ish kind of lifestyle. Of course, he's not going to stick strictly to keto because he really doesn't need to lose weight. He's going to stick to the low carb because it is healthier.
My husband doesn't do keto at all. He is in good shape, he does whatever, and I feel sometimes quite frustrated because I end up making like essentially two types of dinner, right? Like I don't trust him to make the dinner for us because he's like, well, that's low carb enough, and I'm like, that's not what I asked you to do, right? Like that just because it's keto enough or keto-ish, as I said at the beginning, doesn't mean that that's what I want to eat. So I take over like the cooking responsibilities, but at the same time, I hope that she's going to be like mentally prepared into making potentially two different dinners, because it's very difficult sometimes for me to like make French fries for my husband who loves them, and the rest of it's keto, and then I'm like, oh god, I just want one fry. You have to have that willpower to say, I'm not, like, your dinner is your dinner and I'm not interested in it. And I feel like if you can't reconcile the fact that you're about to make two different dinners and you're going to want to like have like a little portion of theirs, then that's not going to work. I mean, it's just not going to work.
But he's not going to adhere to the strict keto guidelines that I'm going to do. And of course, reminding you, it is dirty keto that I'm doing, not clean keto.
Be prepared.
But
it's
there are
hard
things
work.
that we need to use up that we have on hand. And he loves chicken pot pie. And I'm not even a fan of chicken pot pie, so it's not going to tempt me to eat it. But maybe I'll just show you me throwing it together. This is just my little recipe that I make and he enjoys, so I'll share that too. And then I'll show you what I'm going to eat when I eat it today. And we'll just get moving with the day and see what else happens during the day. So stay tuned in like a second and you'll see my body shots and workout and stop rambling, Jennifer.
Okay.
Here we go. Body shots. July 1st, 2020.
Okay, I don't know that much about her, but I need to know like a little bit like about her, like her height and her actual weight, because she doesn't look as bad as ALR, but and in fact, I think maybe she looks better than Foodie Beauty. But my question though is why is she in a wheelchair if she can stand up like that? Why did she do that? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. This is like depressing. Les bras au lot.
Alright, so here is what I'm going to be making.
You know, okay, good for you for moving, but I'm really glad that you muted that actually, because to hear and you sped it up, because to hear your breath would have been like really terrifying. I would have been really like afraid for you. As I've said in a previous video, that when I quit smoking and I lost all this weight, I remember I could hear myself breathing at some point. So I can just imagine, like, I feel really bad right now. Like, I don't even know what to say. Usually, like, I try to be, like, funny or whatever. This is not funny.
It is a Mediterranean salad, and it is pretty easy. I will leave a link to this recipe in the description below. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see. Hopefully you can see. You need cucumbers, grape tomatoes, black olives, feta cheese, red onion, olive oil, and balsamic vinegar, and some oregano. So I'm going to get started and throw this together, and we'll see how it turns out. This is what I'm going to be having for dinner tonight. So just join me and watch me make this Mediterranean salad. Alright, I finally gathered all my ingredients and I'm going to get started. So it calls for 3 medium cucumbers. I have a variety here. These 2 cucumbers came from a farmer's market, and this cucumber came from the grocery store. So I'm just going to peel these. The directions say you can peel them completely or you can just peel them partially. I'm going to peel them partially because I like the look of a little bit of skin on my cucumbers.
Me too.
I'm going to set my mess aside. If you're in an area that you can compost, or if you have like chickens to feed this to, this is a great snack for your chickens or the compost. Sadly enough, at the moment we do not live in that kind
There's
of
a
area.
virtue
but hopefully
signaling
soon
that
we
they all
will.
like to do. They like to give us advice. I didn't ask for your advice.
So I'm going to go ahead and slice up my cucumber and then dice them. And my knife is not very sharp. We're going to switch to a
You
sharper
speed
knife.
this up.
Yes, this is definitely a better idea, cutting them up in smaller chunks. My first few were too big, but these look to be pretty good. Alright, next we're going to add the half of a red onion. I'm just going to finely dice it.
No. Red onion is not keto friendly. I mean, there's some research that says that some onions are okay. We're talking like green onions, spring onions, scallions, whatever you want to call them. Those ones which should have been the replacement for this. Red onions and white onions and yellow onions, they have a lot more carbs in them than you would think. They have a higher sugar content. So that is not... I would have completely avoided that whole thing. Like I said, you could have used a green onion. Maybe you could have, even if you wanted to be cheeky, you could have replaced that with a leek. But at the end of the day, no. That is not keto friendly. The end. No. It is absolutely not. No. And this keto-ish stuff is not going to work for her. It's just not going to work. Like I said, it's all or nothing. You can't have crackers one day and then not the other. You can't eat bread on Tuesday but not on Wednesday. That's not how this works.
Alright, next is the tomatoes. It calls for cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes, but I couldn't find any at our store. These are the smallest they had at the time. So we're just going to go ahead and chop these into small little pieces. Chunks.
Okay. I'm also quite weary about adding tomatoes into my food. I think usually it's because when people cook with tomatoes, they like to put sugar in it to get rid of some of the bitter taste or the sour, whatever it is. But I didn't see her just wash those tomatoes. I haven't seen her wash any of this stuff, and I really hope you did, Jen, because in this climate, hopefully you did. I don't eat anything tomato. My husband hates tomatoes, so I guess that works out in our favor. So here we go.
Alright, the last veggie I'm going to add is a can of black olives.
Okay, wait.
And now I'm wishing I would have gotten the sliced olives.
Black olives are a good alternative for keto. However, they're really high in fat and they're really high in calories. Now, I wonder what some people would say, because according to me, on keto, calories do matter. Maybe on Atkins in the first 2 weeks, they don't. But I used to eat black olives as a part of a fat bomb. So I'm not mad at her for eating that. But there's a lot of fat, thus there's a lot of calories in that. I hope that you really consider that, because ultimately, you really shouldn't be eating sugar-based foods or things with sugar in them along with fat, because your body would prefer the sugar over the fat because it's easier to process, right? I just hope that she took it into consideration that even though it's a salad, there's still a lot of calories in this.
Veggies chopped, and in my bowl, I'm going to go ahead and add my olive oil, 2 tablespoons.
Yeah. More calories, more fat, okay? But why didn't you do that when you were eating it? You could have just drizzled it on. You didn't have to do it now.
Alright, next we're going to add 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar.
No. Balsamic vinegar is higher in sugar than other vinegars. So she could have added apple cider vinegar, or she could have just skipped it altogether. Just my opinion. I mean, I don't eat balsamic vinegar. I feel like it is just an unnecessary flavor. I know that sometimes, in the keto world, we eat a lot of bland food, so you want something that has a little bit of an acidic taste, but that's not the right choice, in my opinion.
And I'm just going to toss it all so it's all nice and coated with your olive oil and vinaigrette. Well, it's not vinaigrette, it's actual vinegar.
She's tossing her salad.
It smells delish. And of course, when you serve this to yourself, you can always use salt and pepper if that's what you prefer. And then the last
I thought she said
little bit of goodness is you're going to use a container of feta cheese crumbles.
That's a lot of fat in there, guys. while most of that is keto friendly, in my opinion, calories matter. Just my opinion. I feel like I stall if I eat too many calories.
And there you have your low-carb, keto-friendly Mediterranean salad. I'll let you guys know at dinner time how it tastes.
I don't think any of that is low carb.
Oops, P.S. I forgot an ingredient.
I don't think that
You're
it's
going to use 1
keto-friendly.
teaspoon of oregano, dried oregano. I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to go ahead and shake some on.
Measure.
And toss that in there as well. And that's definitely the last step. And I will let you know at dinner time how it tastes. Alright, I made my goal of fasting. It's now 2:01 p.m. I did a 16-hour fast. I'm very proud of myself. So what I'm going to have here is my lunch. A little snack
God.
lunch. I have 4 slices of deli ham, and that is 1 serving. 2 string cheese, 2 servings of green olives, 6 strawberries with 1 tablespoon of the pure hazelnut spread, which is da bomb. I highly recommend it. Thank you to my sweet subscriber who sent that to me. And that is going to be my lunch, along with
wait.
the 32.
Wait. Deli ham. Okay, if you got that out of a package, I'm going to tell you what, there's a lot of preservatives in them, and they inject them with all kinds of things that increase the amount of carbohydrates. Theoretically, meat should have 0 carbohydrates, right? So you can tell, like, a lot of these, like, cheaper versions and stuff, that when you go and get it, like, they inject them with something that causes there to be carbohydrates, because there should be, like, virtually 0. The green olives are, again, they're delicious, but they're going to be full of fat. And finally, I don't care what substitute of chocolate or Nutella that is, and strawberries, that is not, according to me, according to my success and what I've done, that is not going to work. You are setting yourself up to fail, and that really pisses me off, because here I was starting to say to you, I was like, okay, I don't know you, it's fine. But the amount of calories she's going to consume in one day is going to be outrageous. Now, she is on the bigger side, so she can afford herself more calories than I can. But actually, her body is going to be in shock. What she should have done is broken her fast with, like, some chicken breasts that she cooked herself. Maybe even if she wanted to be cheeky, she could have wrapped it in bacon, she could have done whatever. But this other stuff, like, I don't understand. What is up with this fruit and this, like, chocolate spread? It's those kinds of things that have the hidden carbs in them. They're gonna add up and you're gonna fail. And now you're gonna come back to us and say, well, wait a minute, I did everything by the book. I followed the rules. No, you did not. Oh! Sorry. I need to go to church.
Water. And then I will see you back a little bit later.
One thing I am going to say, she never mentioned if she was going to do net carbs or carbs, like, as a whole. Net carbs, I have found in my experience, don't work the same way. They cause me to stall. They cause me to plateau. And if her lunch already has 9 grams of carbs, the idea of keto, in my opinion, is that you try to stick to, like, virtually as 0 as possible. So when I want to get into ketosis very quickly, I'll do like 20 grams of carbs max. I get around 30 if I feel like being even more than that. Like, if I want something a little bit special. She has 9 grams of carbs in her lunch. What do you think that her dinner is going to be? There's no way she's going to ever enter ketosis like this. She's never going to she's never going to empty her glycogen stores, because she's sitting here and she's trying to find, like, all these, like, different, things that she's going to do. Oh, and by the way, low moisture part skim mozzarella string cheese, you should have just got the full fat. Because then that means that it has less carbs, because when they take fat out, they have to put sugar in to make it taste good.
Alright, so I told you I was going to show you what I'm making Jane for dinner. Then I'll show you what I'm making me for dinner. You can have this for leftovers, which will be good.
Who advised her?
So this is chicken pot pie, the lazy way. The homemade lazy way. He loves chicken pot pie. He loves it this way. What I did was I took a can of mixed vegetables, a can of the chunked chicken in a can. They're already cooked. And then a can of cream of mushroom soup. I mixed all that together with some onion powder.
It's all
cinnamon,
processed
and garlic
trash.
powder. And then I put it in the bottom of a baking dish. Then I mixed up some all-purpose baking mix like Bisquick, and I used 2 cups with some water. I have a cup of water, and then just glopped biscuits on top, biscuit dough, and then I'm going to bake this at like 400 degrees for about 50.
She just made 6 of those. There's 6 pieces of pre-cooked chicken and tinned vegetables, tinned everything. Everything is processed. Nothing. Cream of mushroom soup, whatever. Do you think she's not going to eat some of that? Because I don't mean to be funny, and I'm really rooting for her because I understand the difficulties of going through keto. But like I think to myself, she's going to eat that, isn't she?
15 minutes or so. Because the chicken's already cooked and the vegetables are already cooked. So all it has to do is the biscuits to cook. So when
what is up with
he's
people
ready
that
to
can't
eat,
make
I'll go ahead and
fucking
throw that
shit
in
for
the oven,
themselves?
and dinner will be ready for him.
God.
And then I will show you when I make my dinner, what I'm making for myself. Alright, it's dinner
Well,
time. This is how
I'm
my
done.
pot pies turned out. Looks pretty darn good. And here it is plated up. This is Jane's plate. It's going to have the corn on the cob.
You could have bought a
broccoli
Hungry
cauliflower,
Man.
and
It's
the
just a process.
chicken pot pies. And this is my dinner. I'm having the broccoli cauliflower, the salad that I made earlier, and the turkey garlic roasted smoked sausage. So that's what we're having for dinner. And I'll be back a little later to wrap up the video because we're hungry.
Our keto's gonna fail because she's had way too many calories.
Alright, this is an after dinner treat. I'm just having one. I'm not gonna be stupid and have like a whole bag of them like I usually do. Just enough to quench the craving. And this is the Russell Stover sugar-free mint, little like mint patty, like a peppermint patty kind of thing. Pretty darn good. And that will wrap up what I have to eat today. And I will start fasting. I guess I'll start fasting now after I eat this. What time is it, babe?
It is 8:10.
8:10. So I guess I'll start fasting at 8:30.
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time. So 16 hours from 8:30 would be.
Huh?
I'm gonna stop this. I don't really care. At the end of the day, look, okay, if you're gonna take on like a new way of eating, you can't do this ish stuff. You can't say, well, I need to find like the sugar-free Russell Stover's chocolates. Like your brain has to be in the right place to say stop. It was like kind of like when I quit smoking, right? It's like I gave myself a deadline. I was like, you can smoke up until this day, and then when you're done, that's it. Because I don't understand a lot of this stuff. And when I do keto, I say, okay, you have until Wednesday to eat whatever, and then by then you have to stop. You can't do anything ish and expect the results that if you did it like wholeheartedly. And Jen, I don't know if I'm going to react to you again. I don't know. I might. Because I want to see you do well. But you're not going to listen to my advice. You don't listen to anybody's advice. And until you do, I don't see this getting any better. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe. But if you're not going to do that today, well, at least we got to spend some time together. Thank you so much for joining me. Merci. Au revoir.